How would you like to draw money to you? Now, this isn't real. This is play money. This is actually movie prop money that may or may not be legal to use. I have been told that it isn't legal to use and possess. However, I've already bought it, so I'm going to use it for this activity. My name's Carolyn. I'm known as the Contest Queen, and I'm also the republisher of the famous Name It and Claim It game by Helene Hadsell. And she has a section in this book called Drawing Money to You. And it's this really fun activity that you use with green cardboard and play money. So I found this on Amazon. I have a sweeping friend who says it's not legal. They can't stop it from coming into the country, but you shouldn't even possess it. However, I already have this, so I'm going to use it. I'm not going to be wasteful of something that I already own. But if you choose to purchase it, do so at your own risk. I'm not going to be held responsible because I have been warned, and so have some of my followers when I post the boards. So I want to start with that disclaimer. But again, let's not be wasteful. Let's use what we already have. So this is a lot of fun, this activity. It's basically a money vision board. How fun is that? Now, let's read this part, and then I'm going to talk about my process with it and what's been happening. Oh my gosh, you think I would have marked the page. And I've just finished the Audible edition of this book. So not only have I edited it by writing, I've edited it by reading it. Oh yeah, it's in this section. Okay. Where is it? Oh my gosh, I didn't mark it. This is so professional. Actually, this is a very good one. And I've been editing the Spanish edition, which will be out this month. This is actually an activity you could do before you start the vision board. It's called How to Develop Picture Power. And this is in the new area of the book that she wrote in 1988 that I believe she took from her Silva training. If you have difficulty picturing a goal by imagining it, because some people have, and I hope I pronounce this right, aphasia, I could be wrong, but it means that they don't actually see anything in their mind. So when the expression picture something in your mind's eye, they literally see nothing. So what you can do to replace that, if you don't see like a mind movie, as they call it, then cut out pictures to depict what it is you want. Paste the pictures on a piece of cardboard. Tack the pictures up on the wall or door, wherever you will see them often. Every time you look at the pictures, pretend you already have what you want. This way, you're giving your goals energy. Continue your imagining until your goal is realized. And I added a note. The reason this technique works is the subconscious works with images and pictures, not words. That's why vision boards can be a powerful manifesting tool. So there you go. That is, here it is. It is it's on page 150. If you have the book, it's in the chapter Reinforcing Your Talents and Greatness. She also has this in this chapter, which she repeats a couple of times, which I also love. And I heard it attributed to something else. And I thought, oh, that's Frank Outlaw. The minute I heard, I was listening to a podcast and somebody was talking about this, and they didn't refer to it as Frank Outlaw's quote, but I knew what it was because I've worked so much with lean stuff. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Love that. Okay, so drawing money to you. This is a recap, but it's good to refresh every time we do this. So buy a package of play money from the toy or game department of a store. Write your name on all the bills. Paste them on a piece of green cardboard with a Marks-a-Lot. I love how she called it a Marks-a-Lot. We call them Sharpies or markers. Print, my good is at hand and I'm gratefully receiving it now. So that is present tense. Money is drawn to me constantly. Again, present tense. My money supply is limitless. Again, present tense. It's very important that you write it in the present tense because the subconscious doesn't understand the past or the future. It only understands now. Read it several times each day and imagine you have a handful of money. That's why envisioning the end result is so powerful because, again, the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. I remember going to a workshop and Jack Canfield did the famous lemon exercise where he had everyone envision, cup your hands, envision you're holding a lemon. What does it feel like? Smell it. Now imagine it's cut into slices, pick up a slice, taste it. And your saliva glands you're doing this so powerfully. You can practically smell lemon in front of you. You start to get that sour taste in your mouth. This is all in your head. There's nothing in front of you. So your imagination can be really powerful. He also did it with close your eyes and pretend you're on a piece of wood, a 2x4, and you're balancing on it. And he said, now and you're like, okay. And you can feel yourself wobble a little bit. And he said, now place that board so it goes out over a cliff. Now I want you to walk to the end of it. It won't tip, but just walk to the end of it. And people all of a sudden were like stiff. And you're sitting in a chair in a conference room. You're not going anywhere. It is so powerful, your mind. That's why these exercises work. Now, a few tips from Colette Barron-Reed's vision board class that she does every January. She says you should put a black border around your vision boards because it anchors them. It anchors whatever you put in. It anchors the goal. Last time, I originally used a marker. I'll show you my other two boards. And there's one on the door. I didn't think to peel it off before this live stream. Now's not a good time to think of that. But I had used marker the first time. The last time I painted it. Sorry. I painted it. The Bristol boards have gotten so thin and it completely warped the whole board. So the paper, the cardboard is now thinner than it used to be. Everybody's cutting back, right? Charging the same amount. So that's what it's called, shrinkflation, I think, from my marketing days. I remember the big case where they said, you want to sell more toothpaste. They just made the hole in the toothpaste tube a bit bigger and everybody still squeezes the same amount. So they're automatically using more toothpaste without even realizing it. Clever. So this is what's going to draw money to you. Now, this is fun money. I mean, it's $1,000 bill. And I actually still had some left over with money when I finished the last board. So I didn't pre-draw a border on this one because I thought what might be fun this time to try something new is I'm going to do all the money and then I'm going to take it out to the backyard and I'm going to spray paint, like freehand, a border, which I thought would be fun. And then if it crinkles, it's already going to have all the money on it. And I think it'll be fun if I just get a little paint on the money and stuff. It'll look more like a bit of a vision board Banksy. Who would have thunk that? Now, I just grabbed a black Sharpie, but you can grab any other color that you wish. I love the dollar store, and I have heaps of markers. So fun. Now, I have just the clear glue, but you can use white glue, whatever you want. I found glue sticks dry out too quick, and I'm not crazy about them on this. But for fun, I also got glitter glue, which you can use to decorate the edges. You can even use stickers. Make it fun. That's the whole point of it. Because while you're doing this, you're giving it energy. Okay, so here, let's go over the first. Let's remember. So I had thought it would be fun to try this activity in her book and share it with everybody. Because who doesn't it feels like arts and crafts, right? From school. And so this was the very first one I did. No, sorry, wrong. I'm looking at it upside down. I know, they kind of look the same, right? So this was the first one I did. And I had just drawn the edges with a ruler. I have one of those yardstick rulers, like from old schoolhouses. I found it at a thrift store. I was like, I have to have this. I use it for these things all the time. And it's so good when I'm doing projects like this. So this was the first one. And I just put my, and I put like millions of dollars around the edge. The second one I did was like this, and I added all these little star stickers to make it fun. And I put some black tape, electrical tape, to keep it really super even. And then I did marker. And the last one, I had turned around and I had painted it before I did the exercise. And then I couldn't use that one. So I used a different green board, and then I just put electrical tape over the corners and left it kind of open, make it look a little Art Deco. Again, you're having fun with this. Now, what's really interesting is I had seen my sales and reach and everything slowly go up since I've been doing these exercises. And then last April, when I did it, I've seen a bit of a decline. And Helene always told me I split my energy. And what I had done at the same time I was doing this was I started a third business. So my energy was now focused in two places because the third one's asleep. So I have Contest Queen, where I teach people how to win sweepstakes contests and giveaways. I have Idea Majesty that does sweepstakes marketing, and that poor girl isn't doing anything right now. And I have Words for Winning, which is where my big focus is in now, because that's where I'm doing all my books. Okay. So I have, and this month I'm on track. I thought I might do 4, but I've come up against a snag. So I'll have 3 books published this month. And usually I publish 1 a year. Yeah, it's been busy. And hence, energy flows where attention goes. And my attention has been on publishing to help people, not on the marketing end to get the word out to help those people. I need to find the balance between the work of creating things to help people to help themselves, as Helene would say, and letting them know that there's these tools and resources available to them to help people help themselves, that they can use to help people help themselves. Yeah, Caroline in the comments, and I'm a little bit far from my screen, as you can probably tell. She just put in a fake currency prop money link. So I don't know what it takes to, but again, I don't know if she came in. Oh, looks came in late. But like I said, I'll add I don't know if I put the disclaimer in the description already, but again, we are never wasteful. Why would we be? So what you want to do is now Colette Barron Reed, and you got to bookmark your, go follow her on Facebook and bookmark her page for January to go check her vision board class. She's done it every year that I can remember. So I think she's going to do it again next year. Again, publishing so much, I don't even know what day of the week it is sometimes. So she says a circle, again, kind of anchors the center. And I'm freehanding this circle, which I think is pretty good. Now, I don't want to overwrite. I should have grabbed a pencil, but I'll write in a light pen. Okay, and so I don't muck up the wording. You think I'd remember this? This is the 4th time I've done this exercise. Okay, my good is at hand. Okay, and then it says, and I'm gratefully receiving it now. And I'm going to do now with an underline. Money is drawn to. Okay, now I've run out of room because I wrote so big. So what I'm going to do to solve that problem, I'm going to do it out here. See, that's the thing. Perfection has no place here, right? You don't have to worry about being perfect. So now let me show you what I've done. My money, look at this. So I ran out of room because my handwriting was so big. So I wrote it at the top. No biggie, right? It's all good. Now I'm going to go over it with a marker. Okay, and now you can see, right? I ran out of space because I wrote big, and it's not a big deal. Again, perfection has no place here because this is supposed to be fun and make you smile and happy every time you look at it. Because if you look at it with dismay and perfection, that is not the energy you want to be putting out. Right? Right? So hang on, let me just finish the last sentence so you guys can see. Okay, so again, now it says my money supply is limitless, which is the first thing I see, which is kind of cool. So now I see it's kind of like a globe, right? My money supply is limitless. Now I wrote over pen because I didn't have the sense to bring a pencil with me to do this activity to show you guys. And, oh, large sippy cup. No, it's not a large sippy cup. This is a tumbler that can be used with or without a straw. And I have to say, I really love this one because I got this at the last sweepstakes convention. It's got my name on it because I was one of the speakers, and this was the gift for the speakers because it's an entirely volunteer run event. Like, I paid to attend, I paid to go, I paid for my room, I paid for all my food, I paid for my ticket. I bought all the things. And then they don't pay the speakers because we all volunteer to help out because the idea is we want to make the hobby better for everybody. And in lieu of all of that, they gave the speakers a really nice gift. And so I got a tumbler with my name on it. Now, it's not insulated, so I could put something hot in it, but that's not great. But it's meant mainly for cold items. I have a straw because I find it easier when I'm doing live streams, but I always like to have a sweepy thing with me when I do that. I have some different denominations, so I'm going to use all the different ones. I have $1,000 bills, and I have a bunch with my name still on them from last time. Now, what was interesting is the first time I did it, I just did first and last name. And then somebody said, what would happen if you put your full name on it? And I thought, oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It didn't seem to make a lick of difference for me. So that, again, is the fun of it. Just experiment. Try different things. And around here where I have my, I'm going to put some glitter glue on the words. I think it'll be fun to draw some attention to the center. And I'm going to use all different denominations. Oh, and I realized I used a blue marker last time. I have like a deep purpley blue, and this one's black. Again, it doesn't matter. So you could just put your name on it. Has anyone tried this exercise? Because this is the 4th time I've done it. And I've seen this. I saw this, and then this, and then this. But this is also ties into where I've been putting my energy. So I'm not surprised. Helene was adamant on that about, you know, be sure you know where you're putting your energy. Okay, let's balance it out. Do I have another 20, or is that it for my 20s? Oh, that might be it for my 20s. I have a 2. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I have a $2 bill. Who remembers $2 bills? And ones, oh, I do have another 20. So I'm going to try and balance out the board, because I'll happily take all denominations of money in all forms. Again, money's energy. So this is something I want to talk about. There's actually a book by, what is her name? I should have had it handy. Her name escapes me, but the book is called The Energy of Money. And it is a phenomenal book. I highly recommend it to everybody. And one of the things in it is she has you go through all these different exercises in how you think about money. Because money doesn't actually exist. It's an energy and it's a tool. I always love Bob Proctor. He always talks about, you know, think of a knife. You can use it to cut up meat and cook dinner, or you can use it to stab somebody. The tool itself is inherently neutral, right? It's neither good nor bad. It's what you use it for. It's just like money. You can, and there's a book by Ken Honda, which I've read twice. It's very good. It's called Happy Money, and it's how to think of money as a friend. Talk to it. A lot of people get upset. I don't have enough money and this and that. And they talk about it and they treat it poorly and they crumple it up and they stick it in their pocket, or they don't. And he said, think of money as a person. How would you talk to it? You would talk to it with kindness, and you'd be nice to it. If you said all the horrible things to money as if it was a person, would you want to stick around? No. Oh, Airline says, I've created a vision board for this year. I cut out magazine images of currency, appliances, cars, clothing, jewelry, and holidays. Yes. And Caroline's in Australia. So holidays to my American friends would be vacations. Because holidays, they think of holidays as Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, those kind of things. I would tell it to multiply. Yes, that's another thing. Vishen Lakhani, who's of Mind Valley, who has a course on Mind Valley from Ken Honda, always thanks his money before he spends it. And I'm going to say circulates it. I'm going to rephrase that because I heard that recently. You circulate your money. You don't actually spend it. You circulate it. And you say, thank you, and come back with all your friends. And I think I'm missing a part. Right? Thank you, and come back with all your friends. So you go out there. So you're circulating money. And when you're paying your bills, you're not actually, a lot of people get tense when they pay their bills, but you used a service and you're paying for that service. So for example, I'm doing the Audible book. Every month I get an invoice from the producer, and I pay the producer. I've gotten a very valuable service over the previous month of his skill set and his studio. He actually has the physical studio that I couldn't record in here. This house. First of all, I wouldn't have any idea what I'm doing. I don't have the software. I don't have the equipment. And I don't have the ear. I nicknamed him the ear because he hears things in the audio that I couldn't. And he is got the software, and he's got the Mac, and he's got the speaker or the microphones and the padded room. Yeah, I go into the padded room. But it's soundproof. And actually, it's so soundproof, I put it on a little funny video on my TikTok today, because I have to walk through 3 doors and 2 other soundproof rooms to get into the studio. Like, there is absolutely no other noise in there. It is. So that's why the Audible books are turning out so well, because I hired the right person. Oh, go forth and multiply, Caroline says. Yeah. And then come back with all your friends. It can go multiply, but you want it to come back to you like a bit of a boomerang. And you also have to have something of service for people. This is what I'm creating for service, right? And now I'm doing it in other languages because people have been asking for other languages. So Spanish is the first one. And then I've had requests for Italian, Czechoslovakian, Hindi, and Arabic. So I don't know how I'm going to do all those, but we're just going to one thing at a time, right? As Evelyn Ryan in Defiant, the prize winner of Defiance would say, that is a problem for another day. And I don't know who said it, but she said, I believe it was a woman, said, everything is figure outable. I think that was Marie Forleo. I have so many quotes in my head. It's sometimes hard to remember who said what. I believe Marie Forleo was the one that coined, it's all figure outable. That's how you have to look at it. So what you're going to do, I'm not going to do the whole board while we're talking, because there's lots of good money resources out there. I really like, if you want to go and see the interviews, go find Ken Honda on, the first place I saw him was Inspire Nation. I love that YouTube channel. I'm just going to put a little glue on here. I love the dollar store. You get all your stuff. So I'm going to anchor like the corners. I'm going to kind of do them around like this. I'm going to start with the $1,000 bills. That's what we're going to do. Right? And I'm covering all the bases with my products for people and how I'm helping them, because not everybody likes to read books, and some people can't read. If you've got trouble with your vision, trying to read might not be the best thing. Again, that's why I'm doing the Audible. I'm mostly through her second book, In Contact with Other Realms. I would love to find someone that could do a Spanish Audible book, but one thing at a time. And then I'm also working on a book. I guess I should be talking about it when I'm doing a whole thing on money. Hello. This is the other book I'd like to publish this month. It's already been digitized and it's been templated. And now I'm doing what they call a line edit. And then once that's done, I've got to do the introduction or the foreword and all the graphics. Like this one's really fun. Jim Carrey was famous for doing this. Tag has this in here too. It's the check, the unlimited check. And look what he did. He put a blank page behind it so you could rip it out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give people a link to the website, and then you can download it. But I'm going to use his graphic because it's so fun. I mean, how fun is that graphic, right? It's from the Bank of the Universal Mind. I love it. It's I Am Unlimited Ink. And that's the check. I don't know how good you guys can see it on this camera, but I love that. So we're going to recreate this for the book. And, he's got Alphamatics. So you know what? We're going to go through this book a little bit while we do this. Who said you cannot be rich? And what great fortunes has that person amassed to be able to judge you in your future? So lesson 1 is how to quickly become wealthy and enjoy it. And the alphamatics on this one is, I deserve my riches and enjoy them. Each day I become more successful in my money dealing. Lesson 2 is how to think rich. And the alphamatics for that is, I think rich, therefore I am rich. I deserve to be rich. Lesson 3 is how to look rich. Now, this one I think is a little funny because this book was originally written in 1980. And that's when you dress the part, right? Dress for the job you want, not the job you have type thing. Well, a lot of things have changed. There's multimillionaires that work in their pajamas on their computer from the coffee shop, or from bed, or they wear their, sweatpants and flip-flops and go down to the coffee shop with their computer and are making millions online. However, I do understand his idea that, because I remember even during the lockdowns, I would get up and have a shower and do my hair, put makeup on. George is like, what are you doing? Why are you even putting makeup on? I'm like, I'm doing TikToks and I'm doing, little videos. I want to look my best, or I'll put perfume on sometimes even. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I would like to smell good for me. I don't have to, so just, you're going to have to take this chapter with a grain of salt. I remember my grandmother, when she was alive, she passed away when she was 102. But I remember she said to my cousin once, and he owns a production company that does car commercials. And she was a little concerned because his hair was kind of short. And she was afraid that he wouldn't have a good job if he, didn't look right. And he had to explain to her that he owns the business and he has someone that works with him that has blue hair. It's fine. She didn't understand that you could work for yourself. I thought that was so funny. Anyway, it's still nice. And he's got a little bit here on jewelry. I took a tie rack and I hang all my necklaces so they don't get tangled. And sometimes I just go in I have it with my closet. My closet's actually in my office. Our house is small. And I'll go through and I'll just put on something. I didn't put one on today because I was in the studio. So I try not to wear any jewelry or anything that can make noise. Because one time I did, and he's like, what's that clanging? And I'm like, oh my God, I was wearing bracelets. And I had my, crystals bracelets. I had a black tourmaline and I had a black obsidian. And they were clanking together. And he's like, and I couldn't even hear it. It was under my sweater. He's like, yeah, the mic's picking those up. Or one time my tummy had a little gurgle because I was hungry. And he's like, what is that? I'm like, wow, your mic is sensitive. So just dress to make you feel good. Now, I do like this. His alphabetics for this one is, I always look and feel wealthy. I take a little extra time in grooming and it always pays me richly. So yeah, personal hygiene for your own personal self. Lesson 4, how to spend rich. Look at that. Money's energy, keep it flowing. And you're not really spending, you are circulating. I always have more than I need. I always receive great value for my money. Yes, I do. I pay my bills promptly and joyfully with my unlimited supply of money. Lesson 5 is how to decide the pathway to riches. So there's also like work areas, and I might even add some extra ones when I do the book. So you have more room to write because it's kind of small. And if you're like me, you could probably fill in a few journal pages. So I might make this a little more journalish so you can do the exercises properly. But again, this is why I'm doing the editing. Okay, so the lesson 5 alphabetics are, riches are mine now that I have set my goals. Oh, so I had a goal of, I was going to try 4 books, but I had a bit of a hiccup this month. So we're going to do 3. 1 Audible, 1 Spanish, 1 print. Good ambition. I have unlimited funds in my universal bank account. Well, yes, I do. Lesson 6, how to get rich. Oh, he has a thing here, 10 steps to $1 million. Now, it's really funny because when you write this in 80, $1 million is a lot different than $1 million today. But he talks about having stock. And I'm going to actually put a little thing in there because there's apps now. And I have an app and I've just bought little bits of stock here and there. If I have an extra, $100, you can, that's the nice thing. And you can even buy partial shares now. So if a share of, I don't know, like Google is, a couple $1,000, you can buy $100 worth and just own it like a tiny piece. It's fractional ownership, I think it's called. It's amazing what the services they have. They didn't even have these options when, and then lesson 6 is, I have abundant creative ideas which make me wealthier each day. Yes. If you hear Bashar talk about the 5 components of abundance, one of them is creativity, right? Before somebody created something and got wealthy, they had an idea, right? Somebody had to have the idea to make this cup and to design that logo and, to create the glue. This company's got to be over 100 years old now. I don't know. Elmer's has been around as long as I can remember. The pen, the mouse, right? These are all ideas. Someone had an idea first. So I just said that one. The time for me to become wealthier is now. What better time than now? Every investment I make will be successful. That's a good idea. If you're going to buy stock using one of these share apps, say that before you pick. Lesson 7, how to plan your money moves. And again, it's going to change a little bit from country to country because the banking rules in Canada are different than the banking rules in the US, than the UK, than Singapore, than Australia, than, India. I mean, there's different rules everywhere. But he uses words like annual income, financial independence, large purchases, investment account. So lesson 7, Alphamatics, is I make my money every minute of the day or night, even when I sleep. I like that one. I make money every minute of the day or night, even when I sleep. Cool. How to become accustomed to riches. Now, this one's interesting. And before I even read what he has to say, this is one of the reasons that 73% of lottery winners lose their winnings within 5 years. Because think of, like I've been saying, money's energy. Imagine you won the lottery. If you think of it in terms of energy, you won, I don't know, $25 million. It's like being hit with a bolt of lightning. And if your system isn't set to handle that amount of money, you will just fry yourself out. So if you're codependent and you're people pleasing, you will spend all that money on everybody trying to get them to like you, because it will just ramp up whatever programs you have. I work with Robert Ohado and we were discussing it, and I kept telling him everybody wants to know about money. And so he's creating a program called, I think he's going to start this November. We were talking in the marketing meeting, Intuition and the archetypes of money. Yeah. How cool is that going to be? So again, this is how to become accustomed to riches, right? Put some change in your pocket. Yeah, Esther and Jerry Hicks always talk about putting a $100 bill in your wallet. And I actually spent mine one day and I haven't put it back, so I need to do that. Lesson 8, Alphamatics. I live in a world of lavish abundance that I deserve, and I now enjoy my life and my wealth, for my funds are unlimited. Oh, this is so fun. I can hardly wait to publish this book this month. And I've got to include the original cover in the book just because, I know my webmaster Mark is going to do something new because this just won't sell in today's market. But how freaking cool is this cover? And look, there's a little wee character of Tag. And I'm really sad that I wasn't able to get further on this project, as he passed away in August. So I never got to send him a copy of the finished one. But I know he's up there and he's watching and he's going to be happy with it. How to develop money confidence, attitude, and image. Yeah, how confident are you with money? Like if you suddenly got a big raise at work, are you comfortable with that? You know, a lot of people talk about, he's got a tapes. There's an accompanying tape set to this. So I've been listening to that, and that's also going to be available on the website. So excited. And he kept doing the tape set. So there's like 6 different tapes for the same series. And it's called Instant Money. And one of the things he talks about is that we have like a thermostat, right? We have it, the room is set to 70 and it can get a little hotter and a little cooler. But as soon as it starts to get too high or too low, you'll do something to bring it back. And so if your money set is at 100 and you suddenly get to 125, 150, 200, your system goes, no, we got to bring that back down. And then again, if it dips down to 50, you're like, that's too low. We got to do something to bring it back up. The idea on this is to reset it to a new high, right? So that's what you want to do. So this is why he says it's important. It's okay for me to have everything I desire. Every day I have increasing confidence in my money. For me right now, what I desire the most, I have all my regular physical things taken care of. So what I want more money to do is to pay to keep growing the company. So have to just be able to buy more books to create for people without having to borrow it. I don't want to borrow money in the future. I'm already putting it to the future. I would like to be, I don't know. Oh yeah. See, this is where you have to watch your language. How do I put that in present tense? I should make an alphabetics for that. I will always have the money to invest in my business. Right? And he has a whole thing here. Yeah, so here's all the alphabetics, I think, together. He did them all at once. So I'm going to reread them again because this is so, an abundance mindset. I deserve my riches and enjoy them. Every day I become more successful in my money dealings. I think rich, therefore I am rich. I deserve to be rich. I always look and feel wealthy. I take extra time in grooming, and it always pays me richly. I always have more than I need. I always receive great value for my money. I pay my bills promptly and joyfully with my unlimited supply of money. I make money every minute of the day or night, even when I sleep. Every investment I make is successful. I have abundant creative ideas which make me wealthier each day. I now enjoy my life and my wealth, for my funds are unlimited. I live in a world of lavish abundance that I deserve. Riches are mine now that I have set my goals. I have unlimited funds in my universal bank account. I know that every day I'm improving my self-worth, both mentally and financially. The time for me to become wealthier is now. How cool is that? And the Audible book that I'm going to do for this, I'm not going to read it because it just feels wrong that Tag's book is read by a woman. So I am hiring a voice actor for this one and for the other books that I produce of his. How fun is that going to be? So that is that book. How cute is this little money book? And that's all we do. We just focus on how we can serve other people and help them. And let's face it, all the stuff that I do, I love doing it because it's fun. Who doesn't like to win sweepstakes? One way you can be abundant without money, right? Or I don't know if you realize this, but I went on a cruise for free in June, which I thought was amazing because a lot of people talk about speaking your desires into existence. And what happened there was I was doing the Audible of this book, and there's a section in here. Is it Maneuvers for Witchcraft? Oh, I think it's in, is it Keys to Winning? It's the woman, she wanted a cruise. And she didn't think she could have it because she said to Helene, I don't enter giveaways. Like, so how am I going to get this cruise? I know it's in the second half of the book because it was a later story. And she's like, I don't, oh yeah, I think is it be a winner in all areas of your life? Because she says, thoughts become things, conceive it, believe it, achieve it. And the woman's like, well, I don't enter contests. So how am I going to win this cruise? One of her neighbors had gone on the cruise. And she thought, oh my gosh, I would love to go to the Bahamas. This is like a dream. My husband's not interested. I don't have any money. You think I would have memorized where it is in the book? Because I've read this book like 400 times by now. So the woman is like, I want to go to the Bahamas, but we can't afford it. And so Helene's and she comes to Helene and she goes, and to top it off, we don't, I don't enter giveaways. So if I'm not entering giveaways and it's not in the family budget and my husband's not interested in going, how am I going to get this cruise? And Helene says, don't worry about where you're going to get it from, right? Oh yeah, here it is. Maneuvers for Witchcraft. I should have remembered that. She said, so here's the story I read out loud. Now, in a book Helene recommends here, and I've read it, it's quite good. It's very short. It's like 20 pages. It Works. The Famous Little Red Book That Makes Your Dreams Come True by R.H.J. And I just bought it on, I think it was 99 cents on my Kindle. So she says, as I lecture through the United States, I get questions from the audience regarding situations. I also ask them if they wish to write and tell me their experiences of how they obtained their end result. The following is an incident that happened to a student. Now, I find this interesting because I've always wanted to go on a cruise. It's kind of been on my list. She says, I don't enter contests and I don't feel that I can afford the money out of the family budget for my desire. Her desire was to take a trip to the Bahamas. Seems like one of her friends had taken the leisure cruise and related how great it was, and it impressed her so much she wanted to make the voyage. Her husband, however, did not share her enthusiasm, nor did he care to go. That did not dampen her desire. She still wanted it for herself. So 4 weeks later, she gets a postcard from this woman from the Bahamas that says, I named it, I claimed it. All right. And how she did it was she just focused on going on this cruise. And a fellow student in art class, like she was taking evening classes, was also a cosmetic saleswoman. I guess she did like Mary Kay or something. And all the salespeople, they had a contest and she won a cruise for the best sales in the region. And the woman said, oh, you're so lucky. I hope it's everything you desire. 2 days before she was supposed to go, her husband got really sick. And she phoned up this woman and said, hey, I can't go. If somebody doesn't take it, it's just going to be wasted. It's basically a ticket for one. Would you like to go on the cruise? So the woman went on the cruise to the Bahamas. So I read this. I'm doing the Audible book. I read it on a Wednesday. Then I start taking the Silva method classes because I've been working with Stephen Dobosh of Canada. And I'm also in his instructor training program. So I'm working to become a Silva instructor because remember, Helene Hadsell worked with Jose Silva and Tag Powell was a Silva instructor. So yeah, Silva's been swirling around. I'm at the Silva training Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I've been helping out. So the first time I just took the class, and then every time since then he's done it, I'm on the assisting team. So I've been in charge of refreshments because I'm really good at that. I used to be an event manager. And I've also been assisting Evelyn, his virtual assistant, but she also comes in person, so she's not always virtual. Anyway, I get this text from my friend Wendy that says, can you go on a cruise? I'm like, no, I don't have any money right now. I've been paying for recording studio time. And she said, oh, it's free. Mike had broken his leg. So her boyfriend months before had broken his leg, and they had postponed the cruise to as late as possible. But then his work got busy and he'd taken off so much time healing his leg, he couldn't take the time off now. And she goes, if you don't come, the ticket's wasted. I'm like, what do I have to do? She says, figure out how to get to Miami. I'm like, that I could figure out. So I went on my first cruise and it didn't cost me anything. And what was crazier was the first stop was the Dominican Republic. The second stop was Bimini, which, by the way, is in the Bahamas. So it's one of the Bahamian islands. So I went to the Bahamas 6 weeks after I read that. So that woman did it in 4. I did it in 6. And I was in the Bahamas. And I'm looking around thinking, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy that I'm in the Bahamas. And I felt like I spoke it into existence. And a couple of other times I have done things like this. And this is why in this book, Tag wants you to say these, not just hear them or read them, say them out loud, speak them into existence. Again, yes, you're writing this. And when you read it every day, as Helene suggests, I'm going to add on, read it out loud. The other thing that I discovered while doing these Audible books that I didn't know is some of the things that I read. Like I've had people say to me, you've taken some of her lessons out of this, or she doesn't really talk about some of the stuff she does talk about. The way she wrote this book was she wrapped all the law of attraction lessons in stories, basically like modern day parables. Okay. And what I really noticed when I was doing the Audible book is sometimes I would read something and it would just like smack me in the face. It was so profound. And again, how many times have I edited this book and line edited it and checked it over? And then now I'm doing it in span. Like so many times I've gone over this book, fixing the chapters, rearranging stuff, realizing I needed to add in another clause later or something changed and I had to go back and update it. And then put the new file up to Amazon because something changed. Again, that's why I always have a clause in all my books that all the links and everything are fluid. Keep checking my website for updates because I can't control the internet. And some stuff was so profound. I highly recommend reading your books out loud because you will be amazed at what you hear that you never heard before and literally heard it. So there's a couple things happening. You're speaking it, so you're feeling it, and you're also hearing yourself. So you're getting it almost twice in the loop for your subconscious to absorb. Very cool. I'm just going to put on a few more bills and see if there's any questions. And then we'll have an update on how this goes. I think it's a little fun doing some different denominations here. Let's put some here. My money supply is endless. Well, yes, it is. Oh, there's a little more glue here. And again, I want to do some, I like the word now. I'm going to highlight the underline here in gold glue. How about gold glue for now? How fun is that? Right? And then maybe around the whole circle, let's do some silver. I'm going to do this circle here with the clear glitter glue. And it's fun. You just go around and guess what? It's very inexpensive. It's all from the dollar store. So when you run out, you can just go back to the dollar store and get some more. Oh, there's a big void here without glitter. Oh, well, that's okay. Also, I have some glitter from when I do my fairy necklaces. I'm like, ooh, I should probably grab it, but it's in a case over there in a box. So we will wait until after this is over. And then I'll quickly go and get the glitter and add it. So yeah, have as much fun with it. Again, that's kind of the whole point of the exercise, is to have fun. And well, there you go. I'll cover up that non-glittery area with some money. That's the problem. That's the way to solve that problem. Just put money on it. Money, honey. Okay, I need some, let's see, what do we want? I just think a $2 bill is kind of funny. Prop use only. That's okay. I'm just going to put a $2 bill on here just because it's fun. And why not? Right? Who doesn't like to have fun with money? Okay. I'm going to put it up at the top just because I think it's fun. Now, does anybody have any questions before I sign off? Oh, Caroline, I missed that comment. That's hilarious. Power suits, big hair, big bling jewelry, and air kissing. Oh my God, that was so the 80s. I think you're in the same age bracket as me. How did we have those shoulder pads, right? But still, you like to look professional and clean and all that. And let's face it, I have a great hairdresser. If anybody's stuck in the Toronto area, let me know. I'll connect you. I'm a little biased though. You find somebody good, you stick with them. Anyway, I'll let you know how this one goes. I think we're going to start to see the uptick. I think the big thing was I also said to the universe that 2023 is going to be my growth year. And I was focusing on the business, and I have grown the business. By adding a third company and another website and more products. I did not talk about the financial return of those. And so that's where this shift is coming in, right? I think Oprah talked about once, she used to ask God for all kinds of things. One year she said, I want to have more courage. And then he'd give her stuff she'd have to be courageous about. And she'd ask for, more compassion, and then things would happen in her life that she'd need to practice having more compassion. And she's like, why are these terrible things happening? And then she realized, she asked for the compassion. Well, it just doesn't show up. You are tested on how to be compassionate. So I asked for growth. I absolutely got growth. I did not ask for the financial matching of that growth. And again, right? Ask, receive. Ask, believe, receive. And I believed it, and I got exactly what I asked for. So if you are not reaching your goals, I also want you to look at, what are you exactly asking for? Check the wording, and literally check the wording, because some of the things I've been finding when I've been doing the Audible book, I will say something, or I'll use a term or phrase, and I realize it's not what's written down. And then I'll look it up, and I realize that the written form, how we normally speak, sometimes how we speak slips out. The proper form, and if you use one over the other, actually means two different things. Like I can't remember what the word was, but one meant past tense, one meant present tense. And I'm like, we have to say present tense. It's not a past tense thing. So I had to re-record it because I used the wrong word, even though to the ear it sounded okay, but technically it was wrong. So if you're manifesting money, make sure you're using the right verbiage too. Check it before you wreck it. Who says that? I don't know. There's lots of good quotes out there. I love them. Anyway, stay tuned for Money and You. Try the exercise from the Name It and Claim It game. Check out The Energy of Money by an author I can't remember at the minute, and Happy Money. And those are my recommendations for today. And please let me know how your exercise go. You can't share pictures on YouTube, but you can share your pictures of your vision boards on Facebook. I'd love to see them. And I will share the finished board after I spray paint the corners. I hope George still has spray paint in the garage. Otherwise, I'll be making a trip to the store. And I will post my finished product. And have fun, because again, that's what this is all about, right? Because what does Helene say? It's a name it and claim it game. Life is a game, right? So just have fun with it because it is a game. Until next time.